Today we'll be doing a build guide for the TM680. The TM680 has been gaining a lot of traction lately, and it's a board I would say a lot of beginners who are just starting out in the keyboard hobby will get to start in this hobby. So I decided to do this guide for all those who are learning and getting into it. The packaging of the keyboard has actually changed a lot from the first time I bought the TM680 a few months back. If you guys are interested, you can go check out that video. But the contents are still the same. A keycap and switch puller, a USB-C wire, and if you've got the Bluetooth edition, there's a receiver. Here are some of the tools I'll be using today. Back in June, the TM680 only had 3 colours, now they added 2 new colours, and one of it is this translucent Tiffany that was sent over by Keybox. You can throw switches and keycaps on, but I'll be teaching you how to mod your keyboard to make it sound much better. Let's start off by removing the 8 screws at the top and popping off the bottom casing. It might be a little tight, but you just have to use a little bit more strength, and if you got the wireless version, you have to unplug the battery. This PCB is a hot swappable PCB, which means you do not need to solder your switches on and can change them out anytime. The only thing that's soldered is the volume knob. And take note, there is plate foam already installed for you. For now, we're gonna work on the bottom housing. We'll be doing a mod called the foam mod. Because this keyboard case is made out of plastic, there'll be a hollowish sound that we do not want. And that's exactly what the foam mod helps with. Start by grabbing some foam and cutting it to the shape of the keyboard case. Next up, we just throw the foam into the case and make sure the mounting points go through the foam so that you can screw in your case back together. All you have to do is apply some pressure around the mounting points and your foam should be able to tear apart. As for the battery wire, you're gonna have to cut open a tiny hole and let the wire go through the foam. Congrats, you've done your first keyboard mod. Next up, we're gonna work on our switches. The switch I chose was KTT Wine Reds. This was sent over by Keybox as well. If you guys are interested, you can check them out down below in the description. So now I'm gonna teach you guys how to loop your switches. Grab yourself some lube. I'm using Krytox 205 grade 0, a brush, and your switch opener. My switch has a kill switch structure, so I'll be using the kill switch opener, but if you have the alternative, just work with the alternative. To open up your switch, all you have to do is just apply force on the top of the switch and the top housing should come off very easily. Once you're done, you should have your bottom housing, spring, stem, and top housing. We're gonna start with the bottom housing. Just brush your loop 3 times on both sides. Once you're done with that, insert your spring back into the bottom housing, pick up your stem, and do the exact same process for the stem. When putting the stem back, make sure that the 2 prongs are facing the golden leaf that you see. Make sure your top housing is on the correct position, correct orientation, and then you can proceed to close your switch. Once you're done with your switches, we're going to move on to stabilizers. The keyboard uses plate mounted stabilizers, so to remove them, use your fingers and grab the stabilizers, use a screwdriver and do a digging action. Usually they come off really easily, but if they don't, use a keycap puller and just remove them. Afterwards, all you have to do is just remove them. Alright, so to disassemble stabilizers. This just means we're going to remove the silver wire from the housing. So I'm going to label it for you guys. This part we're going to call the back part of the stabilizer, the part with the thing popping out, and on the front is where the wire is going in. We're going to call that the front. What you want to do is hold on to the front of the housing and apply pressure upwards on the silver wire. Afterwards you can just pull it out. Next up, removing the stem from the housing, all you have to do is just pull it out. For lubing and holy modding your stabilizers, I would definitely recommend Hamajino's video. It is a really good video. Once you're done with his video, all you have to do is just put the stabilizers back in and we can move on to installing our switches. As you can see, there's 2 golden pins on your switch, 2 golden openings on your PCB. Apply pressure on top and push it in. Some issues you might face, some pins might be bent. All you have to do is just use your fingers and bend them back until they're straight, and they should be able to go in just as easy as a normal switch. One common issue I always face is that for some reason a switch just doesn't want to go in, and that's because your top housing isn't clipped properly onto the bottom housing. Once you're done, admire switches for a while because you won't be seeing them anymore. Next up, we're going to do your next mod. This is called the Tamper State Mod, where you apply fabric tape onto the back of the PCB to have a poppier sound. This is a really simple mod, but just take note to not cover the screw holes. You can do as many layers as you want, but I just did 3 and I think 3 is a good amount of tape. Next up, we can proceed to assemble our case back together. We're going to plug in the battery, screw in all 8 screws, and start installing our keycaps. For your stabilizers, the keycaps should have 3 mounting points and you can just throw them on really easily. Apply force on both sides of the keycaps so that it goes on evenly and make sure it is in all the way. Take note, you're gonna need a shorter right shift for this keyboard. This is a normal shift, it won't fit, so you're gonna have to need a short shift to fit into the keyboard. And that's about it. You are successfully done with building your first ever custom keyboard. Alright, I've come to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are able to build your TM680. I hope it sounds just as good. If you guys want to see more tutorials, you can comment down below for specific keyboards. The skill sets I thought can be used for many other keyboards as well. Your tape mod, foam mod, the way you put in switches, the way you loop switches. It's all the same for your different custom keyboards. I hope this made your life easier to build your TM680. If this video helped you, leave a like down below. It will help me a lot. And if you like keyboard content, you can subscribe. Comment down below what your thoughts on TM680 is getting insanely popular right now. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.